Hey there, my name is Chris Acton with Acting Creative, and this is A Handwoven Experience, episode 32. In this episode, we're going to chat all about the warping board. A warping board is some kind of frame with pegs in it, and you use it at the very beginning of the process when you're going to set up your loom. It's called dressing the loom. And the warp refers to the yarns that are in the loom under tension. So when you first start, you want a way to measure all the yarns and put them in order because you've taken a lot of time to thoughtfully plan the project. So here's where the warping board comes in. Warping board has two jobs. First of all, to help you measure all of your warp yarns so they're exactly the same length. And secondly, to do it in order. So let's talk about number one first. So as I mentioned, it's a big frame with pegs in it. And the idea is that you wind your yarns back and forth, going over the same path over and over again, so they're all exactly the same length. This board here happens to be just about a yard from side to side here, the width of it. So that makes the math kind of easy. So the board allows you to measure all your yarns the same length, but it also allows you to do it in order, which is key. So each warping board has an area where you've got two pegs, sometimes two pegs that are a little bit closer together. And here is where you would put your cross. And the cross is where you make the delineation of which yarns go in which order. And here's how that works. Let me show you. So I have a light green yarn on here that I started at the very top. This is my first peg. And I went over this one and under this. And then I came down here a little bit, and we're just going to loop back up to make it fast. But then, let's say I went all the way down to the bottom, and I'm coming back up. And on the way back, I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to go over this one and under this one, which creates a cross. And the beauty of it is that when you take this off, as long as you keep these separated, you'll be able to tell which yarns go in which order. And that becomes important when you get to the next phase, which is getting it into the reed, at least if you dress the loom from front to back like I do. Anyways, that is your little introduction to the warping board. If you don't have one, there's just a couple things to look for. Make sure the pegs are sturdy, because as you get going, you put a lot of yarns on there. They can tend to bend if they're not real hardcore and sturdy. They need to be able to stay straight. That's one of the key things. And then just make sure it's long enough for you. If you want to do really long projects, you may need a bigger one, or if you're doing smaller ones, a smaller one will work just fine. So that is a little bit about the awesome warping board. I hope that gave you something to chew on for today. Until next time, have a great week and happy weaving.